In every scene, in every take, in every moment in the film, more than the physicality, it was always that are we being truthful to how he must have felt at that point of time in history. So the quest was more that, and that was where our discussions would start and end.
Do something which somebody else is doing it, so you don't have to. You have to maintain your own sanity, and the way you see Udham as a character, the way you have understood life, it comes with a lot of experience also, a lot of maturity also. Very important thing that I don't do is peeping into others' life, so that's so. And
The man you know, but the story you might not. Today we have with us Vicky Kaushal, Ronnie Lahiri and Shoojit Sircar to talk about Sardar Udham for PeepingMoon. Hi guys.
Hi, Gita.
hello, hi.
Vicky, I'll start with you. A sort of an image has come in handy now. There is Raazi, there is Uri, there is now Sardar Udham. What is it with you? You're the new Gen Y patriotic hero. How should I address you as?
See, the thing is how that gets perceived is not in my control, so I wouldn't worry about it. And I would keep that discussion open to the audience only. I wouldn't want to comment on that what my perception is, because as an actor, I would want that perception to be as open, as fluid and as scattered as possible. I try and take up paths which are varied from each other so that I keep growing as an actor. So, Baki perceptions is audience malik hai uski, and whatever they keep perceiving me as.
That's fine. But Shoojit sir, if I have to ask you, yesterday at the event also you spoke about it at length, like how the story of Sardar Udham ji you followed throughout almost like 2 decades, if I have to put it that way. Did you guys shoot at that Jallianwala Bagh for that matter? Because for that would be the last document of that place which we would be having, and we'd be seeing in Sardar Udham after this entire new revamped version we have out there.
No, we did not shoot in the actual Jallianwala. Okay. We recreated it somewhere else. So yeah, it was a huge recreation, but we recreated because in the present Jallianwala you cannot shoot because it's an archive and it's a museum. There are a lot of tourists who visit there from morning to evening. And the Golden Temple is also,
just like
a
50-meter walk.
A few meters away from there. So we could not shoot there. But yes, all the elements of Jallianwala Bagh which is present there, say for example the texture of the wall, the alley which is really, and the houses around that, that we have tried to replicate in the film. So another reference for us was film Gandhi, Richard Attenborough's Gandhi.
Yep.
I think that also was a good reference for us in terms of recreating the Jallianwala Bagh.
Ronnie, I have to ask you, when we saw the trailer, of course the production value, the way the film is scaled and mounted, it took, even the tone of it, if you would call it, it takes you back to this times of the film like Munich, like where that's also a revenge saga per se. What was your thought process in mind when we were scaling a film of this magnitude, and that also a biopic, because there's too much of, I would say, mantle on your shoulders to recreate, yet not just overstep the line somewhere?
Yeah, absolutely. We were very conscious when we were recreating the era, because that's very important for any of these kind of films when you're making historical films, for the audience to believe. So first you have to create the world. Once the world is believable, then the character becomes automatically believable inside it. So that was very important. The thing we were very conscious about was generally people have that tendency to overdo it.
Exactly.
So we didn't try to. So even though we've done VFX and a lot of other stuff, but we made it so subtle that you can't make out that there is something of that front. Because that was not our intention to showcase that we are so good at VFX. For us, the intention was to create that
world. Because even when you look at the trailer and when you told that you recreated an entire set in Russia, if I'm not wrong.
It's in Russia and some other places.
Yeah, it looks as real as it gets.
Yeah.
Shoojit sir, one thing which we normally don't talk about is, and Vicky, for that matter, it's you. Whenever we are doing a biopic, we always look for the fact that somebody has to look like the part. Like, even if it's just by the face or the height wise or something, like Ranbir almost did for Sanju. But when you were doing Udham's casting, did you have that thought in mind that Vicky has to look like the part, or you were ready to make him look like that part?
Both ways. You are right that both ways. I mean, that Vicky also should look like him, and also we adapt Vicky
Exactly.
to certain situation. I mean, of course, he may not be of the exact weight,
Yeah.
or the exact height or the exact jawline. No, but the moments and the moods. I mean, maybe when he's in the Gurdwara, he's wearing a pug.
Pug.
So that if we can match the posture somewhere, we can match. But rest we don't know how he behaved, how he moved, how he looked. So rest will all imagination and fiction.
What about you, Vicky? When you know, because he yesterday has shared with us that there is not much documentation and information available on Sardar Udham ji. What was your reference point then? Of course, the director vision and the vision board is there, how you should be like. But when a biopic like this, and you've been in Sanju, you have seen the kind of transformation and how a biopic is supposed to look like.
Right.
What was your...
See, what I think in the kind of, when it came to physical appearance, what fell in place was, if you see the pictures of Udham Singh, he was also a tall and heavy person.
Yep.
In each of his pictures that you can get that. So that kind of fell in place automatically, but more than that for me also, to play Sardar Udham, more than the physicality, it was always about to kind of gauge what kind of a state of mind that person was in. That became very important for me, because that is where the story is. That is why he's still remembered 100 years later as well, and that is why we want him to be remembered for the next 100 years also through the story. So that was always the quest in every scene, in every take, in every moment in the film. More than the physicality, it was always that, are we being truthful to how he must have felt at that point of time in history. So the quest was more that, and that was where our discussions would start and end as to what are the possibilities for us to play, as to what he must have felt at that point, and that is what we kept exploring in the story.
Ronnie, when we talk about biopics per se, see, the trailer has received so much of good response already, and there is a lot of good positive vibe when I'm stepping in here and talking to you guys. Do you think that with a medium like Amazon and OTT, how bigger that success you can even further make it? Because when Vicky came with Uri, I'm relating it to that, theatrical did give it the kind of boost. Do you think that OTT will also be able to push the stories to those boundaries?
I think so. Because you see, in the last 18 months, the viewer habits have changed.
Of course.
Since the theatres have been shut,
Yep.
so people are watching, because see, people will never stop watching content. So they will watch it. So when theatres were shut, OTT. So now the viewing habits have changed. So now it's not alien territory, OTT. Maybe 2 years back it was alien, but now it is the new normal for them. So that's how, at the same time, with OTT as of now, what I feel is, for a film like this, the magnitude and the story, because it's truly a global story. We can reach 240 odd countries in one go. As I said, why it's a global story when you're talking about Jallianwala Bagh.
Exactly.
It is part of the Anglo-Indian history,
Yep.
and one of the biggest injustices. And today we are sitting here and we watch in India, our audience, they watch films about Malcolm X, they watch films last year's Oscar, one of the nominated films, Judas and the Black, this thing. So when people can watch about Black Lives Matter, this is as important as that, and it is related to that same period. So that's where we feel that this film has a very strong chance of connecting internationally with the audience.
We also know that patriotism, and whenever we talk about patriotic films in Indian cinema, and as of now in the current scenario, should I be saying they are the flavor of the season, or they have always been, like there has always been the kind of love for patriotic films we have. But where do we find our real heroes in them? And here you're telling the story of a real hero you're bringing to life. How do you think that patriotism and that in today's time for the audience work?
So patriotism is a very subjective matter.
Exactly.
For you, it can be something For me, it can be something else also. But you know, I mostly see them as very ordinary and a normal human being, like he's one of us. You know, and surely he would be one of us. I mean, you know, when Udham was in London, he was just like a common man. He must be walking around, talking to people and interacting. You know, it's just that what he was carrying with him in his mind, deep inside, the scar that he was carrying.
Yep.
I think that must have been with him like any other normal. Like for example, now when I go to Jallianwala, what he said, Vicky, that those images, it's quite painful when you see it now also.
Of course.
It somewhere down the line, it gives you a little goosebumps, you know, in terms of what they have done, you know, that it was ruthless and brutal. So I think that ordinary is my patriotism, to find normal things in normal people is patriotism, and which is truthful. So that's what I look into. I also look into you know, the facts that when I'm especially in this film, when I'm doing a film, I've never done that. This is the first time that I'm doing a film on pre-independence era, because there's lots been written about it. There's a lot of debate. There's a lot of debate between what was right, what was wrong, who did that, who that.
Yeah, there has been a section who also says that it was more of a crime rather than, you know, an act
there are many facets to it. So you know, without being biased and without giving any opinions, to be on the center is very, very important, and to be responsible. So that's what patriotism is to me.
Vicky, do you think that audience are looking for real heroes? Like, you are an actor, an idol out there. There are so many people who love you and worship you. But then you are playing this real hero. And of late, for the real heroes, when we talk about, we had Akshay in Kesari, we had Siddharth doing Shesha. How do you fit yourself in that bill? Here, this image of yours and then converting into.
Of course. I mean, that's why real is a very small term as compared to real. And I think our country is full of real heroes if you dig up the past.
Exactly.
And it's amazing that now people are telling their stories, bringing it out to the audiences, and audiences, if they connect to that storytelling, they would really, really celebrate those heroes again. And that's wonderful. That's wonderful as a society to celebrate real heroes, you know. So I guess it's for me it's a blessing that I'm getting those opportunities to play those real heroes.
You just have a Sam Manekshaw also lined up, so I think that's why when I started
yes,
that.
After this.
Yeah, you are just right now becoming the poster boy per se. I would be saying that.
But I do get excited with those. You know, I'm proud of those choices. I'm proud to be getting those opportunities to play these real heroes, and I'm proud to be getting to be part of those stories. You know.
For all three of you, the line we draw between real and real, and the stories when we tell about, of course, the real heroes in the real format. What is that one thing which always is there, like a mandate not to touch? Because unfortunately, there are always sections of society who normally just bring up, they get hurt. As of now, because you cleared it yesterday that the film was always titled as Sardar Udham and not Sardar Udham Singh. So another uproar also becomes for the fact that why you calling a film a certain way or why a certain fact is shown a certain way. How do you balance it out, just as a team? Because the real life incident ultimately ends up becoming more of a discussion rather than taking the story forward. Anyone?
You will have to take care of many facets for that. You know, I'm not talking about the fringe groups or that I've spoken yesterday. You know, it's open. Anybody has a point of view. Anybody can has a right to comment, has a right to his views, and we are ready to have a discussion if somebody wants to discuss with us. So I think that's quite healthy. I feel. If somebody has certain comments and views, we will absolutely stay because we know what we have done. I know who Udham was as much possibly. So it can be an open debate. And your second question was, I think, what you should not do. Right?
Yep.
That's what you're asking.
Yep.
So, one very important thing that I don't do is peeping into others' life. You know, so that's so and.
Okay. Thank you for the plug-in.
No, I think that keeps me safe and that keeps me aligned.
Thank you again, I would say. You just gave me my best lines for the evening.
Anyway, so yeah, you have to be very conscious that you don't replicate or you don't do something which is which somebody else is doing it. So you don't have to. You have to maintain your own sanity, and the way you see Udham as a character, the way you have understood life, it comes with a lot of experience also, a lot of maturity also. So I think what we have tried to achieve in this film Sardar Udham, we are quite satisfied.
Vicky, this is on a lighter note. What's the secret of your success? Women are just going crazy over you when we tell them that we are interviewing you, that you have all the love mails coming over. But the point is you haven't played a full-blown romantic character on film. And coming back to again my first question, the patriotic image you are carrying, and here the women are swooning all over you. I have few, I think, lined up outside also to see you. How do you manage? What is this Vicky's charm here, if you're going to talk?
I really don't know, because
Come on, please.
No, whatever success is there, it is all because of the filmmakers I got to work with.
But all these filmmakers are casting you in this such heavy titled roles, and why then the girls are like all over Vicky Kaushal?
For that, you'll have to ask the filmmakers and the girls. I can't comment on that. I am just trying to do my work with complete honesty. And God has been really kind in this journey so far. And I just want to continue to do my work with complete honesty. That's it. Very grateful for all the love that is pouring and all the trust that is pouring from filmmakers. And I just want to keep growing as an actor from here on, and that's my only quest. Baki, everything around it, I'm very grateful for. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But thank you guys. Thank you so much. Wishing you all the best for the film.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks so much.